So, got one? All right. That didn't take long.
No.
Oh!
Jumping too.
Looks like a nice fish. Oh yeah. Nothing wrong with that. Oh, well, we're gonna release them anyways, right?
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta let that first one go.
No, we're out on Lake Audobon. I tell you, we've been out here in the past. I've said it many times. In my opinion, Lake Audobon is just one of the premier fisheries in the state of North Dakota. Now, there are places where you can catch bigger fish, but as far as just a number of nice quality fish, the population densities in Lake Audobon are off the chart. And if there is a time of year to fish this, well, any times it can be a good time. But I tell you what, pre-spawn is just a time of year where you can just come out here and just catch crazy numbers of nice fish. More people are discovering this, more people are doing this, but I tell you what, it always amazes me how many people don't understand how good of fishing this is. If I lived far away, I would drive a long ways to fish Lake Audobon. It's just an unbelievable smallmouth bass fishery. There's a fish. Got him. Oh my. I'm gonna hit spot lock here, Charlie.
All right.
Oh wow, that fish just stopped that bait. Oh, that's a big fish. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's a fist bump there, huh? Yeah. Oh, love this. Go ahead and just leave her right in the water. Keep her wet here, and we'll show this big lady off and let her go. She does not like captivity, Charlie. That is just a beautiful, clean fish. Look at that.
Wow.
Isn't that something? This is fun. This is fun fishing.
Oh,
this is
yeah.
what we do for fun.
Fat one too.
Oh, just a beautiful, clean fish. Yeah, that is fun fishing right there. There she goes. You know, and obviously it's pre-spawn. I think what's happening is these fish, you know, they're coming up to just scout out their bedding areas. And this is just a bulletproof program here. Just throwing crankbaits. Get this crankbait out of the net here. And what we're doing is we're throwing crankbaits. And early in the year, you know, this water temperature is, you'll see this 50, 55 degree water temperatures. This here's just a Northland Rumble Bug. Balsa bait, and I'm a big fan of balsa, especially in cold water, clear water, whatever you just need to make a little bit more subtle presentation. They wobble hard, you get a good vibration, but there's just something about balsa that catches fish early in the year. And so this is pretty, this is pretty rock solid program. Come out here, you find shallow sand and rocks, scattered rubble off of these points coming off the shorelines. You throw these rumble bugs in, say, 6 to 3 feet of water. You don't have to cast very long until you're gonna find smallmouths in this body of water. It's just fun, good fishing. Catch a lot of fish that fight hard, some big fish. To me, that's just one of the most underrated fishing opportunities in the entire state. There we go, got him.
Hooked up.
Oh yeah. Oh, come here. Even that cold water, they like to give it to you. There we go, nice. Okay, I'm gonna hit spot lock here.
They're liking that color.
Yeah. There we go. Respectable fish.
It's got a cool lighter color to it.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of times this time of the year, you know, they've been wintering out in deep water, and they come out of that deep water and they move up on these shallow spots, and they're get kind of pale and washed out. That's kind of how you tell that they're kind of new. They're just getting up here. I think once they sit up here for a while, they'll get those dark bars and
Yep.
they kind of darken up. But you know, when these fish are on these locations, you know, obviously, you know, you'll have specific points, specific spots where you got the right bottom, and that's where the fish are. But it's almost like these fish are roaming, and so that's why in my opinion, it's so advantageous to cover a little bit of water with crankbaits. And since you're not fishing a specific rock, you're fishing a zone, and these fish are just roaming. They're moving up and down. They're moving out of deep water to shallow water. They're just roaming around. And a lot of times when you do catch one, you'll have another fish or two following it in. And these fish are always on the move. And so this time of year, you know, water's still cold early in the year. These balsa baits are really good. And so you got the number 5 size in the Rumble Bug, you got the number 4 size here, which, you know, you might have to use spinning tackle to cast. That's a smaller size, but basically just a small bait. You know, as far as colors, my overall all-time favorite color for cranks on Lake Audobon is just red craw. It just seems like you can't go wrong with red craw. A lot of times this water does have a little bit of stain to it. A lot of times you are dealing with wind. I don't know if that has a factor, but red craw is a really good one. Also find that something with a dark back with chartreuse sides could be really good on Lake Audobon. And basically, you know, your browns and just, you know, a little bit of chartreuse, you know, those are the real prominent colors where we have a lot of success on Lake Audobon with smallmouths.
Oh, I got one.
Fish or weeds?
Yeah, I got one.
All right, all right. That's a nice one.
Too.
That's a nice one.
I kind of just got hung up in the weeds there and snapped it out, and then he grabbed a hold of it.
All right, coming with the net there. Oh yeah, oh yeah, look at there. There we go. All right, nice work. Nice work, bud.
Fun.
That is. This is a fun way to catch fish too. They just stop these cranks.
A lot of times fishing crankbaits is considered power fishing, but during the spring with cold water and with a balsa crankbait like the Rumble Bug, I think of it as more of a finesse bait. It's silent and it's got just enough wobble and vibration to draw in fish. Balsa crankbaits excel during these cold water temperatures because you can reel them at slow speeds, stop them, pause them, and they'll float up and back out a different structure, and you can really control how you're fishing your crankbait.
Balsa does give the bait a little bit different feel, different vibration that I think is a big advantage in cold water, especially early in the year. A lot of anglers like to use balsa baits. And the other thing is it's a lot quieter. You know, these fish, you know, they're just not super aggressive, although when you catch them, they're super charged. But, you know, a lot of times it's a slower retrieve, it's a little bit more methodical retrieve. And, you know, the biggest thing is you just cover water, find these spots, keeping the boat maybe 6-7 feet of water and just casting into 2 feet of water. And I tell you what, if you do that for the day on Lake Audobon, you're gonna have a good time. You're gonna catch a lot of fish.
Well, that one was right up against the bank.
Oh, that was cool, Charlie.
Bounced it off a
spot
rock.
walk again here and stop us. Nice, nice, nice. I'm gonna sneak in one more cast here where you're fighting that fish. Oh, that's a nice one. Let me get reeled up here. Let me get reeled up and out of your way here. That's a good fish. Coming with the net. That's a good one. Oh, wow. This is so much fun. Oh, look at that one, Charlie. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Nice. That's a fist bump. Good stuff.
That one was up closer to the bank. Wow.
That's a good fish.
You told me there was nice smallmouth to be caught out here, but now we're seeing it. It's awesome.
You know, there's some states, some areas, you know, where the bass season's closed right now. North Dakota, the fishing season's never closed, so you can come out and target these pre-spawn fish. And in my mind, one of the prime opportunities is this time of year because, you know, these fish have been wintering. Nobody's touched them all winter to speak of. These fish haven't seen a lure, they haven't seen a bait, they haven't been caught. You know, they just haven't seen any pressure for a long time. I always felt like whenever fish make a big transition from one season to the next, and they set up on locations for the first time, which in this case, you know, these fish are moving up shallow, it's a prime opportunity because these fish just haven't been touched, okay? Whenever you have a population of fish that haven't seen a lure in a long time, usually they're gonna respond pretty positively to the first lure that they see, you know, and so it's just probably one of the best times of the year as far as just coming out here and catching a lot of fish, and catching fish with fun methods where you're casting, you're reeling, you're fishing shallow water. When these fish hit it, they fight hard. You know, there's a lot to like about targeting smallmouths right now. And so early in the year like this, pre-spawn, basically, you know, we're using side imaging. That'll definitely help, you know, as far as just trying to find the right type of spots. And basically we're just going back into some of these bays, a little bit warmer water. And my favorite types of spots are just sand, bars, saddles coming off the shoreline, you know, or a really big island. But stuff that's connected to the shoreline that's coming off, and basically you're just looking for sand that comes out where you just have rock that's anywhere from this big to just rock scattered on that sand, some gravel, those types of spots. You're going to find a lot of smallmouths here right now pre-spawn, especially when the water's warming up. You know, once that water warms up to say 48 degrees, you'll start to see fish start to push in towards those types of locations. So this right here is all curly leaf pondweed, which after the spawn, we'll find a lot of smallmouths out in the pondweed, you know, just casting spinner baits or swim baits. But pre-spawn, these fish are inside of the pondweed usually, and you're looking for sand or gravel, just some scattered rock. Kind of see here how they just get those little dimples there, just some scattered rock through here. Less than 6 feet of water, that's what you're looking for. A few more rocks. They don't have to be very big. I mean, just even the size of your fist. As long as it's just a hard bottom, some gravel and small rocks spread out across the sand, that's all you need to hold these fish right now.
I got another
Got one?
Yeah.
Goodness, you're firing up.
They fight. I don't know what I
Oh
got.
yeah, that's a good fish. That's a good one. Oh, that is a really good one, Charlie. Oh my, look at that, look at that. Just a gorgeous fish. Oh, look at that.
Boom. Jeez.
Oh. 2 casts in a row?
Yeah, I just got my bait back in the water. One's got a little character to it.
That's a pretty one.
Yeah. Back-to-back casts. Take it.
Good stuff. You know, definitely, you know, smallmouth bass are one of my favorite fish to catch. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're using top waters, if you're using Ned rigs or drop shots out over deeper water. There's a lot of different ways you can target smallmouths, but you know, what's universal is that when you stick a smallmouth, you know it. I mean, they just fight hard. They just have a lot of horsepower. They don't give it up. They don't give it up very easy. You know, they just keep digging. They jump out of the water. They're an exciting, fun fish to catch. And you know, you look at so many places in the Dakotas especially, you know, whether you're in North Dakota, you look at Lake Audobon, you look at Lake Darling, you look at Ashtabula, Lake Sakakawea, you've got Lake Oahe. Eastern South Dakota is scattered with all kinds of great, phenomenal smallmouth bass fishing opportunities. In a part of the world where most anglers are obsessed with walleyes, that creates an ideal fishing situation because compared to a lot of places in the country, these fish just don't get a lot of pressure. There's a fish, got him. That fish just came up and kissed it. Oh. Come here, girl. They are so strong right now. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, look at that. Oh.
That's another good one.
Yeah, that's a beauty. That rumble bug out of her. Oh, that is a nice smallmouth.
Healthy fish.
Yeah. You know, this is something that doesn't take a lot of equipment. I mean, this is something anybody can come out and do. There's all kinds of spots. Basically, you're just looking for sand coming off the shoreline right now, some scattered rock on it, which you can definitely find it with side imaging. But if you just cast the bank and look for these shallow bars, see a little bit of rock on it, you're gonna find fish just like this. All right, we'll get her in the water here. Thank you. Boy, that's a cool fish.
One thing you're gonna want when you're fishing crankbaits is a forgiving rod, whether that's casting or spinning. I like to run fluorocarbon on a casting rod, around 12 to 14 pound, and usually a rod that's from 7 to 7.2, medium power with a moderate fast action. And when you get a bite, you don't need a jack on them. You kind of just need to lean into them and let the rod, the line, and the bait do the work. Right by the boat.
Right by the boat. Oh, that's a nice one. Oh, wow. They have so much power. Just such a fun fish to catch. And these fish are all so clean. Oh, look at that. Just a great quality fish. Great average size. Yeah, look at this. I mean, just a great average size. And I've said this before too. I mean, keep repeating myself, but if Audubon was in Texas or South Carolina or New York, you know, somewhere where bass fishing was popular, I mean, this would be like a household name. Everybody in the country would know all about Lake Audobon. There'd be big tournaments here all the time. But North Dakota, where walleyes are king and very few people fish for bass, it just somehow flies under the radar. More people are getting into this, which should be, because it's a tremendous opportunity. But yeah, I mean, it's just you have a very high quality fishery without a lot of pressure, where people aren't targeting these fish. I would bet a lot of money that most smallmouth bass on Lake Audobon are caught on a bottom bouncer and a spinner by people pulling for walleyes, you know. And so these fish don't get a lot of pressure, and that just creates just awesome fishing.
One thing to remember, and we learned today, is to just stay engaged in your cast. We caught fish at the end of the cast and also real close to the boat. So even though you're getting to the end of your cast and you think you're ready to make your next cast, stay engaged, because there could be fish just seeing your bait, or it could be following your bait. And we caught some big fish today, real close to the boat. The reason why I like throwing a crankbait during the spring like this is you can cover a lot of water, and you can kind of control the depth of the bait, and you can use the crankbait to feel the depth that you're throwing in. So I like to get it down where it's banging down on the rocks and the sand, and then I'll slow my retrieve down, because I know it's in the strike zone where the fish are going to be. So when I'm banging rocks, I'll slow my retrieve down a little bit, because that's when I'm anticipating a bite. And then as you get closer to the boat, it gets deeper, you can just start reeling in faster and go on to the next cast.
You know, I think sometimes too, you know, as far as working crankbaits early in the year like this, I feel like a lot of times these fish aren't glued to the bottom. They're up off the bottom, like say in 3 feet, 4 feet of water. They might be halfway down the water column. They're coming up to soak a little bit of sunshine, let that sun hit their backs. I think that's a big part of it. And crankbait, you can swim, you can just work it through that part of the water column.
And we're giving them a 1-2 punch right now. I got the Rumble Bug on, and you're running the Rumble Bug shallow, so yours is not
Yeah, I'm
running
working a
quite
little
as
bit higher.
deep
We're
as
just
me.
trying to see if there's any difference here. And it's always good to have, you know, 2 people in the boat, you know, throw 2 different things. Cover different water. See if you can put a pattern together. Oh,
Right by the
that
boat.
was cool. Whoa. Let me get out of your way here. I'll reel up here. Oh my. I'm gonna hit spot lock here. That is a toad of a smallmouth, Charlie. Oh, oh, that fish almost hit it right at the boat. That is a
Yeah,
nice
he
one.
did.
That is a nice one. Oh my.
He just jumped like
Oh.
4 feet out of the air,
I know, isn't
or
that
out of the
cool?
water.
Where is he? Oh, that's a big one. That's a big one. Oh, Charlie!
Come here.
Yeah. Boom is right, man.
Wow.
Pretty incredible fishing.
Let's get a look at this.
That was cool. Wow. That is a nice fish.
It's got shoulders on it.
Yeah, just love the red eyes on them. I mean, these are just pretty fish at times.
They're mean.
And to me, you know, see all these, you know, darker, you know, that fish has been up shallow a little bit longer. So like when they first come out of the deep water, or out of the winter spots, they're pale, and the longer they've been up shallow, the darker they get. But that is just a stud of a fish.
Wow.
Well, what a day, huh?
That's fun.
You can come out here and wear yourself out. That's what's so cool about this. Awesome.
Wow.